Next up at UFC London, we have Marc Diakiese taking on Joel Alvarez. I got my own little Joel Alvarez history we'll talk about in a second, but
I think we all
Marc Diakiese, 16-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Michael Johnson. He's taking on Joel Alvarez, 19-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that really, really bad, absolute drudging destruction, half murder from Arman Tsarukyan more than a year ago. Marc Diakiese is a very good kickboxer. He's become somewhat of a wrestler as of late, though. Striking-wise, he does have a ton of power. He sets everything up with leg kicks and body shots. He's a guy that likes to invest early. He's going to use the legs. He's going to use the body, invest early, and then headhunt later in the fight. He wants to slow you down, sort of take that sting off of everything that you've got. Wrestling-wise, he has worked in 19 takedowns in his last 3 fights, with 26 minutes of control time. He just overnight one night is like, I'm a wrestler now. And then that's just what he started doing.
I'm going to throw on these knee pads and I'm going to fucking wrestle.
I mean, it was literally overnight. Actually, you know when it started? When he fought, who was that? Vyacheslav Borshev? Is that who it was? He fought nasty kickboxer.
Slava?
Yeah, Slava Claus. He fought a nasty kickboxer. And we're like, oh, kickboxer versus kickboxer, and he wrestled like crazy.
Yeah, I think I was embarrassed in that one because I think, oh, Slava's, I mean, he's a world champion kickboxer. He's going to outstrike Mark, and then it's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, he was getting booed. It was bad, and then he just stuck with it. But he's coming off that loss to Michael Johnson, where he had 6 failed takedowns attempts and was outstruck. And I think that's why the line is what it is, because Joel Alvarez, before his last fight, was like, everybody was obsessed with Joel Alvarez. He has clean hands, which he does. He has unbelievable grappling, which he does. So he's got clean boxing or clean striking, unbelievable grappling. He's knocking people out. He's submitting people left and right. He's huge for the weight class. He's 6'3".
Has he ever made weight?
He has 0 wrestling. 0. He's never taken anybody down. He's never defended a takedown either. Every single human being who has ever tried to take down Joel Alvarez has taken down Joel Alvarez. You're not necessarily safe because he has beaten 3 out of those 4 people. But the last time I broke down Joel Alvarez, it was versus Arman Tsarukyan. I picked Arman Tsarukyan. He was a 2-1 favorite. Arman Tsarukyan was a 2-1 favorite.
For some reason.
You would have thought that it was Jacob picking a lot. It was my first experience on this channel of people just being miserable assholes for no reason. People
and now literally every time I pick a lock of the week, that's what it is. Fade! Lock of the week! Loss of the week!
People went nuts. Joel's going to smoke. And then what happened? Somebody that had takedowns and jiu-jitsu defense just mauled.
Got lucky with the cut.
He mauled this dude. With all of that being said, I just had to get that off my chest because some of you watching were here then, running your mouths then. With all of that out of the way, I still think Joel Alvarez wins this fight because Marc Diakiese is not Arman Tsarukyan. And yes, Michael Johnson is, tried and true vet, but he couldn't take down Michael Johnson. He couldn't deal with Michael Johnson striking. And you're going to outstrike Joel. Joel Alvarez could quite possibly be the better striker here because Mark has just abandoned his striking. And yes, if Mark wants to wrestle, he will take down Joel Alvarez. But Joel's so slick on the ground, I think I trust him. So I'm going to go against my gut. My gut was this guy sucks. That was my gut for Joel Alvarez because I know he doesn't suck, but my gut was like he can't stand up if he gets taken down. He's not going to defend a takedown. And this guy could be winning all the striking exchanges, get taken down, and then have not be able to get a submission off bottom and then lose a decision. It's a very real possibility, but I still trust Joel Alvarez. And I have a bet on him. I threw a money line bet on this guy. I forget what odds, honestly. I don't have it in front of me. But premium members, you saw that bet in the Discord. I trust him that much. And a lot of it has to do with my lack of faith in Mark after his last fight. That was a pretty bad loss if you're Mark. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest, fight in the world, especially because I believe he won the first round, and then he started doing his thing where he's just one of those fighters that's a very confident, a very cocky fighter, but sometimes that backfires. He's doing the smiling and the antics and all that stuff against a guy like MJ. Ended up losing that fight. He just was not throwing enough volume. He wasn't getting the takedowns, as you mentioned, and that worries me in a fight like this because I think he needs to be locked in, and I think that he needs to strike in this matchup. Do not go to the ground with Joel Alvarez. And somebody in the comments was like, why would he? Didn't you see what he did to Thiago Moises? Why would Mark want to strike with this guy? Because Joel Alvarez has fucking 16 submissions and 19 wins, okay? I understand that he knocked out Thiago Moises, but he wants to be on the ground. That's where he wants to be. That's where he lives, on the ground. Doesn't mean that he can't strike. He is a good striker, but for Mark, you are much more live on the feet, especially because in that Thiago Moises fight, if you watch that fight, Thiago was landing some decent shots. This is a tall guy who depends on his kind of size and range in his defense. You don't see him bobbing and weaving with head movement. He is very up and down. He's very tall. He stands very straight up, almost like an Alex Pereira. He comes forward. He does have good striking. He has good range with the striking. But I saw Thiago almost get to that chin a few times. And Mark, as he's been a wrestler, has before that was a very explosive guy. He doesn't have like a ton of power. He's not like a one-hitter quitter type of guy, but he can land. And I think that he has enough power against a guy like Joel Alvarez to where if he lands on the right spot, I think he can put him away or hurt him enough. And I just believe in my mind that when I was watching the striking and Joel coming off, the Thiago Moises type win and stuff like that, I think he's going to try and strike with Mark. Obviously, as you mentioned, he can't really get the takedown, so he's going to be there striking. I think he gets in trouble against a guy like Mark. If Mark starts forcing takedowns early, I don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting because I agree. My bet on Joel is more of a statement against Mark and his last performance because this could look like that Weisslaw fight. He could just get taken down over and over, elbows in, just avoid any. I don't want it.
I don't want it. And this is another one where Mark is my pick, but I don't have any action. I don't trust him, quite that much. But I think he just stay at range and strike and kind of wear this guy down. Yeah,
well, and he'll be at home, so we'll see what happens. But I'm on the Joel. I'm on the Joel Alvarez side. And I do have that bet on him. I forget the unit number. Or whatever. I forget what the bet is. I have a moneyline bet on Joel. Premium members, you saint it. You went ahead and you saint it. It's an interesting DraftKings play because if you think Mark wins this fight, you probably think he'll get takedowns and hang out on top just based on who he has been lately. No, if you think he wins,
I don't want him wrestling. I
know you don't want him to, but that's what he's been doing.
I know, but he's got to understand the dangers, and that's what worries me because he is a cocky, confident guy, and there's nothing wrong with trusting yourself. Like, I can take him down and stay safe, but that's his best path to victory in my mind because Mark is a very experienced, very good dynamic striker, very good in and out, good defensively. So I think he can stay safe and land the better shots and eventually wear down a guy like Joel in the striking. I don't want him wrestling fucking at all. Not one shot.
Well, we'll see what happens, and I regret my bet a little bit. I don't recommend tailing it, but it's up there. I put it out there. It is what it is. The world has seen it. $9,000
now. Just got to pray on it.
I'm probably not going to do the $9,000, but if Joel wins, he will be worth that money. Because
and one thing I just looked because I actually did have notes for this one. For some reason I did notes for this card, probably because it was 15. I was a little bit worried about it. But one of the things I forgot to mention is Mark's leg kicks. For a very long, rangy guy like Joel, he will throw some heavy leg kicks, and that could get Joel in some trouble too. So I want a lot of leg kicks early. Keep your distance. If you want to wrestle late, I guess. This is what I want. I want Mark to shoot a takedown at the 30-second mark of every fucking round. Get the takedown. You're going to get it easy. And if it's a close round, you're going to end up winning the round. And if you're already winning a round, you're going to solidify the round. 30 seconds to go. Shoot a fucking takedown. Double them. Keep them on the ground. You'll be able to stay safe for 30 seconds, and you're good. That's how easy it is. I mean, I could beat Joel Alvarez, I think. Stay safe for 4 minutes. Definitely. Nice little blast double. Easy.
You don't even know if you're a righty or a lefty. I would love next time we're together.
Trust me.
I'll film you in a wrestling
I know.
Stance. Jesus Christ. If you want to unlock that bet that I told you not to tail, it's only $10 a month. Go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. You're going to unlock everything. Picks, bets, tools, insight, write-ups. You're going to get everything you could ever imagine. It's not just me and Jacob. You're going to get me, Jacob, Artem, and the AI. The AI is in beta. What it has been doing very well is picking underdogs, but we continue to add, improve, and the pick doctor continues to work on that and make adjustments so you can follow that journey as well. All of it for only $10 a month.